Hi, this is Mambo Sandy, and I've been away for a while because, like I said, I had some things that I had to do for myself. So, in order to help you, I must always elevate and help myself. Okay, so let's get in today's video. A couple things. One, I have another channel that I started for those people out there that may be trying to lose weight or other information. I call that my mundane channel. Okay, and it's called Smaller Me 2015. That's the email address at gmail.com, but I will be putting more of that information up later. Okay, I'm not editing this. I'm going to keep it straight. So I've been on this weight loss journey. I started it once again because I feel that there's a saying that, you know, what goes on in the physical happens in the spiritual, and what happens in the spiritual happens in the physical. So I don't want any thing to hold me back spiritually. Okay, so today's video, we're going to talk about being a spiritual worker. Why do you want to be a spiritual worker? And I want to talk about, actually I just want to talk about being a spiritual worker for those that may be thinking that they want to be a priest, a priestess, you know, or a spiritual worker, or whatever you want to call it. So let's get it rolling. One, you will not become rich. Not with spiritual work, unless you have a serious marketing plan, okay? And you really, even then, it takes a lot of work. Why? Because you're working with people. Next up, don't look at other priests and priestesses and think, oh my God, you know, things on the outside sometimes are very deceptive, okay? And this is not in a bad way, but you may go to a party and you may see that, you know, a priest or priestess, you know, everything looks good, she looks good, you know, the drums, and you're just like, oh boy, I want to be a part of this. Okay, let's talk about the behind the scenes if you really want to be a spiritual worker, okay? One, your time hardly is your time. One, because you're not only serving your spirits for yourself, but you have to put in extra time because you're helping other people with their problems. So right there, time. And time is something you can't get back. Two, let's talk about money. Sweetie, I'm gonna tell you something right now. People are very flighty. Very flighty. And yes, I said it. Why? Because it's the truth. Okay? Because I'm ready to dispel the myths, if you like it or you don't. People do not like to pay for spiritual work. And when they do, they want to pay what they want to pay. And when they want to pay you. And they will think that when they're not getting the result that they think they should be getting, they will play with your money. Yes, they will. I'm putting it out there. I don't care anymore. Okay? So, let's just say you have a client. And this client, you're doing work for them and you tell them, oh, well, I have to do something or whatever the case may be. But they're not seeing results as they think they should be seeing them. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people that don't do the work to give the person a result. But then there are us that do the work to get the result. Okay? But it's going to happen in the time that the Loa, Orisha, or whatever spirits you are want it to happen. Okay? So you're going to have that. Then you're going to have people that are going to try to tell you your job. Oh, yes. Then you're going to have people blowing up your phone, blowing up your email constantly because they do not know how to follow instructions. Oh, yes. It's fun so far, isn't it? Then you're going to have people to tell you that your spiritual work that you're doing and you're taking your time to serve the spirit isn't worth it's not worth what you're asking. Okay? So, then you have your jumpers. I call them spirit jumpers, spiritual worker jumpers. You know, they jump from here to there, to here, to there, to here, to there, to here, to there. So, therefore, you might have, you know, a person you're working with, which leads me into my next thing on the list. They decide you've been working on this case with them for maybe a month or 2 months. It's not happening fast enough for them. So they go somewhere else. So now that person goes somewhere else and then they don't get the result they want. They might get scammed. They might, whatever the case may be, they end up coming back to you. Now you might be nice and you might decide to help them. If you do, you're going to have a lot of shit to clean up. Point blank. Next, they might not even tell you that they're working with someone else. So you have to not only give them a reading, but you also have to look to see if they're working with someone else, because they may not tell you. And because they will not tell you this, you might get into a spiritual war, or you might have a problem with another spiritual worker because that spiritual worker might think that you're stepping on their toes, but you are not. But that person is not going to tell them what you are doing. That's fun. Isn't that fun so far? It's real fun being a spiritual worker, isn't it? Wow. It's exciting. Also, being a spiritual worker means you are in business for yourself. That means that there is no one handing you a paycheck if you don't work. That's why a lot of spiritual workers still have have other jobs. Now, there's some traditions that once you get to a certain level, you cannot work for the outside world. You have to work for the Loa, the Orisha, or however it goes. Okay, which means that's a full-time job, which means that you really have to know how to budget your money, because you can end up in big problems. Okay, because like I said, people are flighty. People do what they want. Also, now let's talk about my favorite subject, reviews. Oh, you didn't know? You're gonna get reviews. People have decided to come up with review sites to review you. And God forbid they get angry or they get upset. And then guess what? There goes a bad review for you. Why? Because maybe it didn't happen fast enough. Or maybe a spiritual worker that doesn't like you on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, or whatever, doesn't like what you're doing. So they decide to get their friends and family to make bad reviews on you. It's exciting. Aren't you ready to just jump right in? Also, it takes time to build up a business. The way one spiritual worker may work will not work for you. The way you may work will not work for someone else. So it's something to really consider when you are becoming a spiritual worker, or you feel like, oh, I want to really do this. Next on the list, people who waste your darn time. Oh yes, you have people that just waste your time, and they ask you questions, and they ask you this and you ask you that. And sometimes in the beginning of your spiritual work, you'll feel so like, oh, you want to share. And then it starts to dawn on you. You know, when I said I was going to do, when you say that you're going to do a workshop, or maybe you're going to do something that money, dinero, l'argent, is involved, all those people that you gave information to, they disappear. Wow. Like ghosts. Then, here's my other favorite. Clients you ask to write a review for you never do. But they can find you when they need you. Or you'll love this one. I love this one. Clients that they will come to you and they'll say, you know, if you help me, I'll bring this person, that person, and oh my God, and oh my God. And guess what? It never happens. It's exciting. This is the exciting world of being a spiritual worker. Next. This is wonderful. I love this one. I really love this part of it. I like when people decide they want to try to do their own spiritual work that they have no clue of what they're doing, and then they mess themselves up, and then they come to you and they wham me, and guess what? You're supposed to feel bad because you decided to do something you had no business doing. Okay? Let me get this straight. A spiritual worker is not your godparent. They have no responsibility to you but to do your spiritual work. You don't call up your mechanic and have long, drawn out conversations. It's just not going to happen. Or your dentist or your doctor. We are a professional. And guess what? Sometimes we need to step up our game. I admit I need to step up mine. There's been times that, you know, I had situations where I had to professionally handle them with my clients. It happens. We're human. We're not without flaw. But my point is, before you decide, oh, I want to get initiated, I want to lay down, I want to do whatever, don't think that the doors of heaven are just going to open for you and your life is going to become peaches and cream. But guess what, sweetheart? It's not. It might actually get worse, and you will be tried and tested at every single turn. Every turn. Every turn. Every turn. Okay? Now, my thing to you is this. Before you decide to want to jump in and be a spiritual worker or be a mambo, hooligan, santero, santera, you know, babalao, palo, pelera, you know, understand what you're stepping yourself into. Because when you go and you get these initiations done and things don't go your way, you're wasting the Godfather's time and you're wasting your time. You're wasting the Godmother's time and you're wasting your time. Which means this. You're wasting precious time that you can't get back. This is not a quick money-making scheme. That is not what this is. This is not a quick money-making scheme. Spiritual work is just that. It's spiritual work. It's spiritual work in more than one way. Spiritual work that I have to do and spiritual work that you need to do to take care of yourself if you decide to become a spiritual worker. Okay? Because it seems lately, every time I turn around, and I don't care who hears me say this, I just see initiates. Not initiates at the first level. I just see priests and priestesses being thrown out there like cookies from a darn cookie factory. Every time they open up the oven, a new batch is out. That is not how this works. Don't let someone talk you into something. Look at your life and see, can you fit this in your life? Is this really for you? Because guess what? If you dig deep inside, you will find out if it is really for you, if it is meant for you to be a spiritual worker. Okay? So don't go just jumping into something because you feel that this is for you. Ask questions. Do your research. If you can research a car, you can research the latest handbag, weave, nail salon. Research your spirituality. Research it and take your time, okay? Because once again, being a spiritual worker is not what you think. We have families. We have houses as women, the women that take care of the house, okay? We have jobs, some of us. We have other things we have to tend to, plus take care of. Plus, you will have to take care of your clients. Okay? And sweetie, let me tell you something. They will email you 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 times. And they will ring your phone off of the hook. And that is the truth. And I don't care who likes it and who don't. Because it needs to be said. Anyway, this is Mambo Sandy signing off. You have a great day. And once again, think about if being a spiritual worker is really for you. Take care and bye-bye.